All right, let's talk about the best film of 2025. Of course, I'm talking about Emilia Perez. This film is directed by Jacques Audiard. I'm trying my best. It's written by him and Thomas Bidgain and Leah Macias. Man, I had not heard about this film. And then the Oscar nominations list came out, and this film is like the level of Lord of the Rings. It's very close to the level of Titanic, to these ginormous masterpieces of cinema. It's up there with Gladiator. It's up there with the best of the best. You know what I'm saying? That wow, I must watch it, man. Like, this movie's got to be good. It got 13 nominations. It's definitely because this film is good, right? Not other ulterior motives. This film is about this Mexican lawyer named Rita. She's played by Zoe Saldaña, who is as good as she can be in the role. This is a Spanish-speaking film, and she sounded fluent in her Spanish, unlike other people. That just helped sell the role, but everything else that she does, she was the best part in it, right? Anyways, she's this criminal lawyer who has clients who do terrible things, or more likely than not part of the cartel, and she herself protects them from crimes such as murder, which she knows that they've committed. And there's a lot of corruption that goes on behind the scenes that she herself is involved in participating in. So given her reputation, given her client list, we have the introduction of Manitas. Manitas is this cartel drug lord who calls her over, blindfolds her, brings her over to his compound, and tells her that he wants to be a woman and that he's felt this way since he was a young, kid or whatever. And then she's like, well, what the hell? Like, why are you coming to me? To be honest, that's never really answered. I'm also wondering, like, why are you going to her to set it up, to set all of this up? Anyways, the procedure is done. And we have Manitas turning into Emilia Perez, someone who is not accountable for the past murders or crimes of families that he, she, they, who, her has killed, and for all the other crimes that they've committed. And the film plays it off as if this transition frees Manitas of any responsibility to past crimes. And now I'm told to feel sympathetic for a character who's done all of those things, but suddenly after this physical change, wants to be a better person and help find kidnapped people, missing people who the cartel is heavily involved in. So Emilia's got these connections, so Emilia wants to help out. And this play on the character just feels so forced, where all the crimes that have been committed in the past, whether by Rita, whether by Emilia or anybody else, there's no consequences for it. No consequences for it. And as the film goes on, the writers found this amazing self-destructive way to fit in as many plot points as they could as the film went on. Whether it be Emilia finding some lover lady, that just felt so rushed. And then Emilia's conflict with Selena Gomez's character. Oh my. Don't even get me started on Selena Gomez's. Look, unfortunately for the film, I can speak Spanish fluently. I know it as well as English. So when I hear Selena with her gringa accent, like just terrible, she did not, like she couldn't, I'm telling you guys, like if you don't speak Spanish, she sounded terrible speaking Spanish. Like it sounded like, oh God, I can't. And the worst part is the writers had the great idea to not only have her say dialogue, but to sing. Her scenes were definitely the worst of the film. If I had seen this film with other people, I'm happy I didn't because I spared them of the pain. But if I had, I would have probably turned to them and we would have burst out laughing. Like we would have made fun of that for a good amount of time. And it would have been our conversation, and making fun of it would have been so much better than whatever the hell was on screen. Selena was the worst performance of the film, easily. And, getting into a bit of spoilers here, I'm supposed to feel sympathy for what happens at the end of the film. Okay, so story's bad, dialogue's bad, characters are trash, performances other than Zoe Saldaña are bad. Then we get to the music. because this film is a musical. It got nominated for music, some original music, right? Why? You know, I'm open to liking musicals. I love The Greatest Showman. I love La La Land. Wow, I don't know, man. This might have been the worst musical I've ever seen. You know, the purpose of music and the songs is to move the story forward, and it just doesn't. It halts everything back. It doesn't deliver anything new about the characters, and it feels like such wasted space. And unfortunately, every single song is that. Well, the composition of the songs, the instruments, it's just so flat. It falls so flat. It's so uninspiring, not creative. Felt like a robot made it. And then the worst part is the singing is terrible from these people, and the lyrics are just not there. I'm sure you guys have seen the clips going around. That song that happens in the hospital where you're getting the procedure to, you know, to do that transition. Oh my gosh. Student films are better than this. I'd rather listen to mumble rap than this. The choreography is some of the worst I've seen. It's simply limited to, you know, just doing some Naruto signs. You know what I'm saying? That's all that they did. And on top of everything, they just do a terrible way of representing Mexico. This film poorly represents it. It wasn't even filmed in Mexico. The director is French. Fine. You could have a different director of different nationality directing a film in a certain nationality. That happens all the time. But the lack of authenticity, the lack of research is shown on screen. Easily. Papitas. And the thing is, this is a terrible movie. But what makes this whole situation even worse is Hollywood and the academies forcing down our throats that, hey, you know, 13 nominations. This film is a masterpiece. It's more than Oppenheimer. And so all of these categories where it got nominated, where it's unjustified, all of these slots could have gone to different films that deserved it. What are we doing here in the Oscars and the Academy Awards? Are we celebrating art? Are we celebrating authenticity? Or are we here just to give participation trophies because you made a character be transgender? Are we here to celebrate cinema and moving Picasso paintings? Or are we going to give trophies and awards of Best Picture, of Best Actor, just because you checked a box? Is that what we're doing? It's just so disappointing because other films and other people could have put in those categories, and the reputation of the Academy Awards and the Oscars has been in the dumps for a while. And this just added so much more fuel to that. So much more. Man, these people are blind. They preach so much about not judging people by the outwardly appearance, and I feel like Hollywood and the Academy Awards does that so often, where they miss the soul of the film and they just look at the flesh of it. And this is just such a good example of that. It's so disappointing. It's such a letdown. It's not surprising, but it is still disappointing because art and films, I believe, should be celebrated as the best medium of art, in my opinion. And to see this sort of trash being compared to the best of the best, and whether it's to give a message or whether it's to give a middle finger to who knows who, when did this stop being about art, you know? I don't know. Alright, so if it's not obvious by now, this film is an F, the weakest F ever. The only way I'd recommend the film is if it's being used as torture device. That's basically it. Save your time. It's very valuable. Learn from me. Please. Okay, if you're gonna watch this film, just know it is rated R. There is strong language. Throughout the film, it's not really strong violence, but there are moments of strong violence. So just be aware of that, especially towards the end. Some shooting, some stabbings thrown throughout the film. And when we get to the plots where Emilia's looking for, you know, the missing people, there are a lot of graphic photos. There are a lot of graphic scenes that are shown with that. And there are a few kisses every now and then. And of course, there's a lot of sexual material, not necessarily sex, but just material given the story. So just a heads up. Let me know what you thought about Emilia Perez. If you think that the nominations were justified, please communicate that with me. Put in the comments, man. Let me hear your point. Let me hear your perspective. Other than that, please subscribe. Please support the channel. And I'll see you guys next time. Bye-bye. So I'm in the journey of watching all of the films that have gotten nominated for Oscars. All the ones that I have access to, I'll try to be putting out all of these videos for you guys. And after watching all, if not most, I will be doing an Oscars predictions and I'll be saying which films I'd be putting my money on. All right, let's get to it.